Hello, it's Concord Wind. Finally back. Went from posting every day to, it was like slowed down, and I don't even remember how much I've posted this month. I haven't released any new songs really lately. Sorry about that. We are going to be reading about superstition and how Satan uses superstition to corrupt mankind, which is us. Yeah, of course, you knew that. All right. By the way, before we get into that, took the theocrine, however it's pronounced, and I do feel it. I do feel it. I do, and I mixed it with this and also the Optogen HP, which they have some of the same ingredients, which is rhodiola is the ingredient they share in common. And I feel, pretty good. It's not as good as caffeine, but I can't have caffeine, so this is the next best thing, I guess. So yeah, let's get into it. God says, you're familiar with the term superstition, yes? There are some links between superstition and traditional culture, but we will not talk about those today. Rather, I will discuss the most commonly encountered forms of superstition. Divination? What was that? Okay, that was my sister. Divination, fortune telling, burning incense, and worshiping Buddha. Some people practice divination, others worship Buddha and burn incense, while others have their fortunes read or have someone read their facial features and tell their fortunes in this way. For us, for Americans, it's definitely horoscopes. That is the big like corrupting superstition element of America for sure. How many of you have had your fortunes told or had a face reading? This is something most people are interested in, is it not? Why? What sort of benefit do people gain from fortune telling and divination? Divination, I don't know how to say that. What kind of satisfaction do they gain from it? Curiosity. Is it just curiosity? That is not necessarily it as I see it. What is the goal of divination and fortune telling? Why is it done? Is it not to see the future? Some people have their face read to predict the futures. Others do it to see whether or not they will have good luck. Some people do it to see what their marriage will be like, and yet others do it to see what fortune the year ahead will bring. Some people have their face read to see what their prospects and those of their sons or daughters will be. And some business people do it to see how much money they will make, seeking the guidance of the face reader about what actions they should take. So, is this just done to satisfy curiosity? When people have their face read or do these sorts of things, it is for their own future personal benefit. They believe that all of this is closely connected with their own fate. Is any of this useful? No. Why is it not useful? Is it not a good thing to gain some knowledge through these things? These practices may help you know when trouble may strike, and if you learn about these troubles before they happen, could you not avoid them? If you have your fortune told, it might show you how to find the right path out of the maze, so that you may enjoy good luck in the year ahead and come into great wealth through your business. So is it or is it not useful? Whether it is useful or not has no connection with us, and our fellowship today will not involve this topic. How does Satan use superstition to corrupt man? People all want to know their fate, so Satan takes advantage of their curiosity to entice them. People engage in divination, fortune-telling, and face reading in order to learn what will happen to them in the future and what sort of road lies ahead. In the end, though, in whose hands are the fate and prospects with which people are so concerned? In God's hands. All of these things are in God's hands, and using these methods, what does Satan want people to know? Satan wants to use face reading and fortune-telling to tell people that it knows their future fortunes, and that it not only knows these things, but is also in control of them. Satan wants to take advantage of this opportunity and use these methods to control people, such that people put blind faith in it and obey its every word. For example, if you have a face reading done, if the fortune teller closes his eyes and tells you everything that has happened to you in the last few decades with perfect clarity, how would you feel inside? You would immediately feel, he's so accurate. I've never told my past to anyone. How did he know about it? I really admire this fortune teller. For Satan, is it not too easy to know about your past? God has led you to where you are today, and all the while Satan has been corrupting people and following you. The passage of decades in your life is nothing to Satan, and it is not difficult for Satan to know these things. When you learn that all that Satan says is accurate, are you not giving your heart over to it? Are you not depending on it to take control of your future and your fortunes? In an instant, your heart will feel some respect or reverence for it. And for some people, their souls may already be snatched away by it at this point. And you will immediately ask the fortune teller, what should I do next? What should I avoid in the coming year? What things must I not do? And then he will say, you must not go there, and you must not do this. Do not wear clothes of a certain color. And you should go to certain places less. Do certain things more. Will you not take everything he says immediately to heart? You would memorize his words faster than the words of God. Why would you memorize them so quickly? Because you would want to rely on Satan and for good luck. Is this not when it seizes your heart? When its predictions come true, one after the other, would you not want to go right back to it to find out what fortune the next year will bring? You would do whatever Satan tells you to do, and you would avoid the things it says to avoid. In this way, are you not obeying everything it says? Very quickly you will fall into its embrace, be misled, and come under its control. This happens because you believe what it says is the truth, and because you believe that it knows about your past lives, your life now, and what the future will bring. This is the method Satan uses to control people, but in reality, who is really in control? God himself is in control, not Satan. Satan is just using its clever ploys in this case to trick ignorant people, trick people who only see the material world into believing and relying on it. Then they fall into Satan's grasp and obey its every word. But does Satan ever loosen its grip when people want to believe in and follow God? Satan does not. In this situation, are people really falling into Satan's grasp? Could we say that Satan's behavior in this regard is shameless? Why would we say that? Because these are fraudulent and deceitful tactics. Satan is shameless and misguides people into thinking it controls everything about them, and that it controls their very fate. This causes ignorant people to obey it completely. They are fooled with just a few words. In their days, people bow down before it. So what sort of methods does Satan use? What does it say to cause you to believe in it? For example, you might not have told Satan how many people are in your family, but it might still be able to tell you how many people there are, and the ages of your parents and children. Though you might have had your suspicions and doubts about Satan before this, after hearing it say these things, would you not then feel it is a little more believable? Satan might then say how difficult work has been for you recently, that your superiors do not give you the recognition you deserve and are always working against you, and so on. After hearing that, you would think, that's exactly right, things haven't been going smoothly at work. So you would believe Satan a bit more. Then it would say something else to mislead you, making you believe it even more. Little by little, you would find yourself unable to resist or remain suspicious of it anymore. Satan merely uses a few trivial tricks, even trifling little tricks, and in this way misleads you. As you become misled, you'll be unable to establish your bearings. You'll be at a loss as to what to do, and you'll begin to follow what Satan says. This is the, quote, brilliant, end quote, method Satan uses to corrupt man, which causes you to unwillingly fall into its trap and be seduced by it. Satan tells you a few things that people imagine to be good, and then it tells you what to do and what to avoid. This is how you are unwittingly tricked. Once you have fallen for it, things will get sticky for you. You will constantly be thinking about what Satan said and what it told you to do, and you will unknowingly be possessed by it. Why is this? It is because mankind lacks the truth and so is unable to stand firm and resist Satan's seduction and temptation. Faced with Satan's wickedness and its deceit, treachery, and malice, mankind is so ignorant, immature, weak, is it not? Is this not one of the ways Satan corrupts man? Man is unwittingly deceived and tricked, little by little, by Satan's various methods because they lack the ability to differentiate between the positive and the negative. They lack the stature and the ability to triumph over Satan. So sad, but fortunately these words give us discernment. It happened to me. Recently, I was scrolling through Google News, and I came across an article about horoscopes. I didn't click on it. I just saw the title and I saw the thumbnail. And the title was like something like, what people born in each month are going to experience in 2026. And so I looked and I saw December in the thumbnail. When I'm born in December, Maria's born in December. It said we would be experiencing horror in 2026. And before I saw that, I started hearing voices. I started getting a creepy feeling, unable to sleep at night. Go outside and I would hear weird noises, and there was a real creepy vibe outside. And, I ordered a Junji Ito comic, which is unusual for me. Junji Ito is a horror manga series. And I ordered that comic, and then I ordered the Junji Ito, hat. Got this Junji Ito hat, which is, it's creepy. And I did all this before I even saw the horoscope. And then Maria has been experiencing supernatural phenomenon. She's been hearing scratches on the walls, been hearing the doors open and close. And it's just creepy stuff have been happening to both of us. We're both born in December. And the horoscope said, that people born in December would experience horror in 2026, and we have. And so someone without discernment, if they were in my shoes, they would keep going to those horoscopes, trying to learn more and more about what's going to happen, But, I just saw that, and I just like let it go and moved on with my life. And I don't rely on horoscopes. I haven't looked into horoscopes. I haven't looked into anything else about it, even though, what it said was like factual and it's something that's actually happening. It doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen. It might. This whole year might be a horror year for me. I mean, like it said, but who cares? I'm not going to rely on it. I'm going to rely on God, because Satan knows things that are going to happen, and it knows things about the past. It knows a lot. And so I'm not going to rely on Satan just because it has knowledge of things. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the discernment we should have. Like, don't be tricked by Satan. Just because Satan knows some things, just because Satan is cunning and smart and has, some worldly wisdom, and, it can teach you different things and help you to, maybe even succeed in life financially. It's not real success to succeed financially. Spiritual success is much better and more long lasting. So it's better to rely on God anyways. And God is the true creator and the one who's truly in control of everything. Satan just makes observations. Satan is kind of like a scientist, because Satan can only, make observations and spout conjecture, while God actually dominates and controls everything. Satan has some knowledge, but God understands the universe like a machine he built, and he is the one who determines the fate of every single person. So is it smarter to rely on God or rely on Satan? Obviously it's smarter to rely on God. So we have to see through superstition. Don't rely on superstition. If you learn something from, superstition, like without looking for it, then it is what it is. I mean, you learn something. I mean, whatever, let it go. Don't continue to go back to it and learn more. Just let it go and move forward with your life. You don't need it, Superstition is unnecessary. And I know people get curious about it, and it's very dangerous, because if you don't have discernment, you'll keep going back to it and you'll start relying on it. And you don't need to go down that path, because then you'll be possessed by Satan, and then your fate is done. God will determine your fate like those of the unbelievers. And you don't want that. So read God's words, rely on God's words. Those are the truth. God's words are the truth. those are the words that can actually change your disposition and give you a good fate in life. So that's the path you should take, you know. So anyways. All right, now that that's done, I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen lately. That's what this is Japanese for Jujutsu Kaisen. It's stylized Japanese, I think. Because that doesn't look like typical Japanese. That looks very stylized, but it means Jujutsu Kaisen right there on my hat. And this is the Shibuya incident. I don't know why Shibuya is upside down. But, you know, maybe because Shibuya was turned upside down in that incident. And if you haven't watched it, you don't know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, it's been really good. So, I'm probably going to go back to watching it here in a little bit. Or I might work on music. I don't know yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. Because the theocrine is definitely in my system, for sure. You know, I feel it. And it's very similar to caffeine, not quite as strong, but I mean, for the dose, it's pretty strong. I would almost say it's stronger than caffeine for the dose, because I took a very low dose compared to how much caffeine I need to really feel wired. But caffeine has a limit. You know, you take it and take it and take it, and you only feel like it caps somewhere. Caffeine kind of caps. Like, you only feel so much until you reach the point of, like, anxiety. You know, like, once you break through that limit, it's just like anxiety and jitters, you know. And so yeah, you can only feel so good with caffeine. But like this, I don't know how this works yet. I just got it today, so we'll see. All right. Thank you so much for watching. May God's will be done in your life, my life, everybody's life. I just want God's will to be done in everyone's life. I want everyone to submit to God's will, and I want everyone to cooperate with God so that His will is carried out in each person's life. And I know that's a very ambitious, almost greedy kind of goal to just, you know, want everybody to submit to God, but, you know, that's what I want. And so, yeah, thank God. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.